sentences can be seen by these prepositional phrases. Then define prepositional phrases and what is its usage, you can have to better see that one. So you can learn in today's session, that is prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases. So what is this? Again you can define these prepositional phrases in the words of your own. Then you can have the definition of that one is prepositional phrase is the preposition, the object of the preposition and all the modifiers between the two. So the object of the preposition and all the modifiers. And what is that one? Is that one you can have prepositional phrase is the preposition by the object of the. So this is the prepositional phrase is the phrase of the preposition of which the object of the preposition, the object of the preposition, the object of the preposition and all the modifiers and all the modifiers and all the modifiers between the two. So between the two you can have. So prepositional phrases are, you can define the prepositional phrase. It is the prepositional phrases is the preposition of the object and all the modifiers between the two. And what are the examples of these prepositional phrases? You can better to be understood by these. There are fruits in the basket. So in identifies of your preposition in the basket is, this is the object. So you can have this. So there are fruits in the basket. So what are they? There are fruits in the basket. So you can have this, in is there, preposition and basket is there, and it continues more than 3 words in the phrases. So in the prepositional phrase you can see one preposition is there and one object is there. So you can have the differentiation by the having of the modifiers between this preposition and object there. So these are the words which are going to input in the making of 3 or more words more than in the sentence. Secondly, similarly you can see, secondly they left before us. So you see, they left before us. So modifier is there, just, they left, just here you can put, and you can have this modifier by saying modifier, and you can also see us, they left just before us. So this is the modifier which you are going to put in between this prepositional phrase before the preposition, and just is there before. So before the preposition you can have this, they left just before us is the modifier before the preposition, and these can be, these prepositional phrases also can be called as either these can function as either as adjective phrases or adverb phrases which modify in a sentence. So which modify in a sentence that can be better understood by the having of the phrases of not only with the noun and pronoun, you can also use either with the phrases of adjectives and adverbs there. So these verbs can be, again till now we have seen pronouns, nouns and verbs of the phrases there, and in today's session you can have to see with the following of these prepositional phrases with the facing of your verb and even with the having the functioning of the adjective and adverb phrases, and you can use these prepositional phrases in all of the following. Noun is there, verb is there, pronoun is there, adjective is there, adverb is there. So you should have to use in all of the following phrases of these things. You can have with from all of this, you can have one example so that you can have your understanding of the prepositional phrases with each and every aspect there. Then you can have to see the prepositional phrases which is functioning. So this is phrase and this is the modifier of these prepositional phrases, and when you are going to see with the adjective phrases, you can have to better have the example of that one. Usha? So that you can see, you can better see there. And what is that one you can have, you can see from that one by using of these prepositional phrases there. And what are those prepositional phrases? By the functioning of these adverb and adjective phrases. So prepositional phrases, when it is related to adjective phrases, you can see with the functioning of prepositional phrases with adjective phrases. So these adjective phrases you can have to see with one more example. You can use the mob. You can use the mob behind. You can use the mop behind you to clean the room. You to clean the room. So what is here you can see? You can use the mop behind you to clean the room. So you can also use the mop there. The prepositional phrases where you are going to have your explanation with the having of these adjective phrases. Just you can see its classification of this one. Behind is the preposition. Behind is the preposition. Behind you is the prepositional phrase. Then that can be act as the adjective of the noun mop, and that can be act as mop can be act as your modifying of your noun there. So this modifying of your noun adjective phrase, which adjective phrase? So you can call this as the adjective phrase for the noun mop is there. So you can have the better explanation of this one is behind you. So where you are going to understand these prepositional phrases with the lying form of your adjective phrase, that is going to be working as you can use the mop behind you to clean the room. So what is there again? So that is going to be taken for you for the example of this is behind is one preposition and behind you is the prepositional phrase. prepositional phrase as your adjective phrases there, and that can be taken with the example of these. You can use the mop behind you to clean the room. Behind is the preposition and behind you is the prepositional phrase. Then that can be this mop can be act as a noun and that can be used as your adjective phrase. So this prepositional phrase can be acting as the adjective phrase, where this mop is acting as modifying this phrase as noun there. So that can be considered into the taking of these adjective phrases. Similarly, which you are going to take with the prepositional phrase functioning as the adverb phrases, you can see with the following example there. You can see where these prepositional phrases functioning as the adverb phrases. So you can better have to see these adverb phrases. These prepositional acting as your adverb phrases, where you are going to take it irritates me. So it irritates me when people talk. When people talk during a performance. It irritates me. It irritates me when people talk during a performance. During is preposition. During a performance. During a performance. During a performance is the prepositional phrase. Is the prepositional phrase that modifying as an adverb for talk. That modifies as adverb phrase. Then where this verb is, where you can see the verb, that is talk is the verb you are finding there. So modifying the verb where the talk is the verb which is acting and functioning as your adverb phrases. So this can be taken by the few examples of the prepositional phrases when you are going to use these adverb phrases in these sentences. So what are these lying again? You just read wisely. You can have to understand that it irritates me. It irritates me when people talk during a performance. During is a preposition, and during a performance is the phrase, prepositional phrase that modifies as the adverb phrases. When this verb is modifying, the verb is can be talked into, given as the talk. The form of the verb in the sentence is the talk. So these are the words that are going to be given as the modification of the prepositional phrase, either in adjective phrases and adverb phrases. Please off the fan. Adverb phrases there, and these are the adverb phrases where you are going to understand betterly the prepositional phrases which act as during, and adverb phrases and adjective phrases there. So these adjective phrases and adverb phrases can be changed according to the phrases of your prepositional phrases, that making it into the modification of the changing of the sentences where in the blanks or the exercises are being given for you, and with the following few examples of these exercise of the prepositional phrases, you can have to fill in the box there, and you can also have with some sort of examples there, and those examples can be taken as in the form of, in the case of, instead of, then in addition to, according to, on behalf of, in favor of, in my way, on the whole. And these are the few terms of the prepositional phrases of the words that can be input into the blanks with the appropriate fill in the blanks that can be done by you as the exercises where these prepositional phrases can be learned. So these are the prepositional phrases with the following examples of the sentences. You can have to better known with the examples there. And what are those examples you can give? I gave a presentation. I will give 2 or 3 examples so that you can have to see the identification of the prepositional phrases in some of the following sentences. I gave a presentation. I gave a presentation dash of my classmates. So what is that when you can put there? On behalf of our, on behalf of is there, here you can follow. So this is the word you should have to input here. I gave a presentation on behalf of all my classmates. Then he withdrew his application. He withdrew his application. He withdrew his application in favor of his rival. In favor of his rival. So what he withdrew. So he has been taken back his application in favor of his rival that has been given there. So you can see again with one more example dash. You can put here dash the heat. We all worked during summer in spite of the heat. So in spite of the heat, we all worked during summer. You can see on behalf of, in favor of, in spite of. These are the prepositional phrases in which you are going to have your few examples that can be understood for you for the prepositional phrases. Till 2 or 3 you can see, and you can have its explanation of that one. For that one, can I help you? Can I help you? So what is that one you can give? Can I help you in any way? In any way. So that is the one. Then one more you can say. I would rather have water. I would rather have water. I would rather have water in a soft drink. So what is that? Instead of, you can also give I would rather have water instead of soft drink. Instead of either you can have by the taking of water or in spite of a soft drink. He opened the attachment. He opened the attachment. So he opened the attachment out of curiosity. And what is there? This out of curiosity. Out of curiosity. So one more sentence you can put. He opened the attachment out of curiosity. In addition to the grew. In addition to the crew, there were 60 passengers. 60. In addition to the crew, there were 60 passengers on the flight. So you can better understand by the learning of these sentences there. And what are they? The remaining 3 sentences. Can I help you in any way? Can I help you in any way? You can also see with the having of the prepositional phrase as anyway there. And I would rather have water instead of a soft drink. I would rather have instead of soft drink. He opened the attachment out of curiosity. He opened the attachment out of curiosity. In addition to the crew, there were 60 passengers on the flight. So these are some of the few examples of the prepositional phrases where you are going to input by you in the having of the understanding of the prepositional phrase. Either they will be in the adjective form, adverb form, or even in the prepositional phrases that are going to be input in the following of the blanks of the exercises that can be taken in order to understand the prepositional phrases with the correct phrases given in the box there. So like this you can have few more examples to understand clearly and what will be the prepositional phrase that can be modified and can be learned from you in the purpose of the knowing of the vocabulary as part of the grammar that can be understood for you. So I hope all you understood these prepositional phrases session, so that we shall remaining see the following in the next class. Thank you. ఇవి స్టాప్ అయితే లేదు చూద్రావే.